Hello everybody, it's Henry again, and I'm off on another trip. This time, if everything goes as I'm hoping it will, this is a 4-day solo trip to Temagami. I'm going from the hub, the main Central Lake access, up through Sharp Rock Inlet, Diamond Lake, Wakamika Lake, Obabaka, and back on the north west arm over 4 days. Primary goal is to see the old growth forest of the Wakamika Triangle. It is reputed to be the largest stand of unlogged old growth white pine and red pine. And so I've been keen to see it. I've been by the area in the past, but I've never gone on the hike. So that's the plan right now. The weather looks pretty good. There might be a little bit of rain tomorrow, but doesn't look like there's going to be any storms, so that's nice. It's been a wet summer comparatively here, which has been great for knocking the fire danger down, but at the same time it does find it hard to get a stretch of days where you have reasonably good weather. I'm fortunate, being retired, that I can pick my trips based on the weather instead of having to go on a fixed date, and so that is nice. The temperatures in the daytime are in the low 20s, and at night maybe in the low or so teens. So it's it's north central Canada, and even in July you're still looking at night temperatures, if you get northern winds or northern air, of in 12 or 13. Last night here in Sturgeon Falls it was only 8 degrees, so that does happen. Anyhow, I have a unique set of packing this trip because I'm also going to be doing the hiking, so I've got my trekking poles with me, which I'd never take on a canoe trip. I decided against the canoeing shoes and bring my hiking boots because the shoes are still pretty new, and I didn't know if I wanted to walk with them 8 or 9 kilometers in the forest plus the portaging and maybe have some trouble with my feet. So go with the tried and true for this one and see what happens. I also have a fleece because of the raincoat, so I'm carrying 4 or 5 pounds more than I would normally do for a summer type canoe trip. I was very pleased with the calculations based on my spreadsheet that the loadout of my pack is of about 55 pounds, which is almost 10 pounds less than it had forecast, so that's really good. I'd rather be on that side of the equation. So this is the first time I'm carrying both bear vaults, and they're pretty full for the 4 days, and we'll see how much of it I actually eat. I like bread, so I like to bring sandwiches and so forth, bread with me, which of course doesn't pack well otherwise. And so by having these food cans, you can put the bread at the top of it, and it's perfectly safe in the pack. It's not going to get mashed, so that's pretty nice. And so we'll see how much I get through and how that really works. But and I think that based on looking at it, there's probably some empty spots in those that may not be probably packed as tightly as they could be. This is also the first trip where I'm using the mini stove for the first time as the prime stove. I don't have a backup with that. I don't generally make fire, so I'm more of a stove, and I'll do the campfire only for trash, but I don't really see the need to have a fire, but we'll see what happens. So I'm pretty excited about the trip. I've done all kinds of day trips, solos, hundreds and hundreds of them. And I think my last solo camping trip was in 2000, so 25 years ago. When I had a stretch of my life was just too busy to do much of it, and otherwise I've been going with a friend, primarily Frank, you may have met in my other videos. He wasn't available for this trip, and it's a good experience for me to do this. And when I camp with him, we're doing double solos anyway, so I'm completely responsible for my own stuff. We carry each of us carry our own tent and all the rest, and camping, cooking equipment, and so forth. And so it's just a matter of whether you have that other person there for as a security blanket more than that they're doing anything. So I figure this way I can, if I do this and get my confidence with that I can do more trips, even if whomever is not available. And I'm really looking forward to how well this will go, so we'll see. I'm very pleased how the double-bladed paddle has gone this year on my increased distance or relative effort. Now on a canoe trip, I'm not going to be doing 40 a day. So most of these are 26, 25-ish, and there's some options for doing a little bit more than that. So, and then of course day 3, when I do the hike, is reduced by a fair bit down to somewhere around 15 or 16, depending exactly where I camp that day. So there's, so depending on how this goes, I'm hoping for over 100K in the paddle at least, and more like 100, and hopefully we get pretty close to 120 backcountry travel in total. That would be really nice. And I have 210 on the canoe so far this year, so this is gets me up, if that does happen, well over 300, and that'd be very nice. So so it's looking optimistic. And then I've got some family obligations, and so it'll be late August and into September before I'm able to travel again. And I'm looking to do hopefully 2 or 3 or 4. I always kind of have my goal is 5 trips a year. I'd like to spend about a month in the woods. That would be kind of what I'd like to do. And whether that's going to quite happen this year is hard to say. Got my eye on some different areas, but we'll let that roll out if and when I make the trips. Anyhow, so that's the plan. We're going to be going in at the hub at Lake Temagami. So here we are underway on my trip to Wakamika Triangle, just 150 meters from the start, so we're right at the beginning here at the hub in Lake Temagami, and we're heading basically north. But a beautiful day, nice, not too hot, and there's just a little ripple on the water. The only waves you're getting at all are due to the power boats, and there's enough of those around today, but still not too bad. Okay, so I'm about an hour into this, and I've gone about 5.5 kilometers, and I just turned the corner to go towards the north arm. So we're doing pretty well. My GPS says I'll be at the camp location of my planned camp on Horseshoe Island at 4 o'clock, but that doesn't consider the portage, so that'll be later. But right now 5 o'clock, which was my original idea, sounds like it's quite doable. So we'll see, and see how I'm doing when I get up to Ferguson Bay, whether I want to go up in and around or just go straight to the camp. I'll have to decide what is fun, but I think having one portage today to get that system organized would not do me any harm at all, so we'll see. I inadvertently brought my blue dry bag with me, and so I may use that to carry some of this stuff that's on the canoe when I carry the pack, or whatever. I'm not sure yet. I have to think about it, but either way, I'll put it to good use. I would say it's in the mid-20s today. There's a slight wind from the north, but it's nothing. I'm still able to go 5 something. It's about, I'm going to say it's about 10k. I lose about 10 kilometer an hour for every 10k of headwind, plus or minus. And right now, for the same stroke before, I've been doing the low 5s, which is just fine. And the water otherwise is calm. There's a ripple on it. The only other parts that you get is the swells caused by the power boats. Now, there's been quite a few here today, far more than there was last year around this time when Frank and I did the Iceland Lake trip. And but the north arm seems quieter, so that's good. So we'll just keep going here. I don't know if it's showing the camera, but the water is so clear here. You can see down, 15-20 feet. Hello, and thank you for watching this video. It is a pleasure to share my adventures with all of you. To help achieve my goal of at least 1,000 subscribers, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to Hiking with Henry and click on the like button for this video. It is completely free and would be of great help to me. Thank you very much.
These cliffs are at least 100 feet high, 30-40 meters, and they're really quite sheer. It's amazing. You come around the corner and this is just here. Phenomenal.
So I was hoping to stop here for lunch, but it's pretty brushy. It'd be pretty hard to get out of the canoe here with the rocks and without getting my feet soaked, which I don't really want to do. And there's not a lot of space. Those tree branches and stuff are pretty stiff. So I don't know, unless something comes up here around the corner a little bit, I might just head on. It looked like a possible campsite, but it doesn't seem to be after all. Okay, so we're not going to make too big a detour. So we're going to head across here then to this next land, see what we find there. So I've gone 12K now in 2.5 hours, I guess. That includes everything. And it's a choppy, kind of uneven surface now. Not so much swells, but there's been enough boats go through. There's always a wake or two showing up. You don't even really notice the boat because it's far enough away, but the wake's still coming. But I'm still averaging over 5, I would say, for most of it when I'm paddling. And it's nice. It's a beautiful day out here. So we'll find a landing spot in the next hour or less where we can have some lunch. So I had just had a lunch stop right here on the point here of this little island, and it's sheltered. It might actually be called Squirrel Island. I'm not sure exactly, but it sure worked. And had a chance to have my lunch and put on some sunscreen, and 20 minutes later I'm a new man. We're getting close to the midpoint today. The gone 1287 and I've got plus or minus 14.7 or 8 whatever to go. That's a bit straight line, but nevertheless, so it's a little over 27 in total travel, which I've done before, and feeling pretty good. It's a nice day. The wind's a crosswind, maybe just a titch helping me, but not much. But as long as it's not too wild out there in the sense of the chop, which was for a while was a bit difficult, but right now it looks pretty good. And so we're gonna head up. We'll get to Devil Mountain where I camped with Frank back in 07, and then we'll head up into Ferguson Bay. That's kind of the plan right now, and we'll see how it goes. So
This is Devil Mountain campsite where we stayed in 2007. There's people here. I was planning to go anyway, but there it is.
So I'm near almost to the mouth of Ferguson Bay. I guess I am kind of. And what I've noticed is that so far almost all the backcountry sites up this way have been taken. Now I haven't gotten to my goal at Horseshoe Island just yet, so we'll see what happens. But it's only 2:30, and I'm not one for sitting around the campsite for 6 or 8 hours staring at the sky. I like to be doing things, so I didn't want to go directly there, and so I come up here into Ferguson Bay. We're just getting started in that, and then I'm going to there's a hook bay there on the left. I'm gonna go in there, and apparently there's a 400-meter portage back out to the main lake. Now we'll see whether that even exists or not, which is another question, and hopefully then the Horseshoe Island campsite is right there or afterwards, and if that's not there, there's 3 or 4 of them near the beginning of Sharp Rock, and hopefully something in there will be possible, and we'll just have to see. That's the way it goes up here. You can't reserve stuff, you just have to show up. So it's a Friday, which doesn't help things, but no matter what, it's summer, and they've got a stretch of half decent weather starting yesterday, so I can understand why some of these places are taken. We got a line of rocks here. I'm just going to try and pick my way through it, famous last words. But the wind's pushing me pretty good, so just got to try and see if there's a
spot that isn't as high. I'm gonna have to pull the snow back here a little bit because I don't want to hit anything too hard if we do ground. Nothing's breaking the surface, so here's hoping it's that simple. Boy, we just missed it. It's not very deep here. Still a little pink. Not too bad. So we got through there. That's good. Okay, good. I've never been in Ferguson Bay before, and with the haze today, it has a real, ethereal feel to it. That's pretty big cliff system up in here, which we'll see later, and it's pretty nice. Thankfully, if we turn the corner here, the wind we're sheltered because we had quite a wind behind us, which was giving us a lot of following swells. So this is Ferguson Bay, or what is the end of Ferguson Bay. I guess it's got another name. I'll put it on the screen. And the portage I was concerned about is beautiful. There was a camp crew here, so I couldn't video when the folks were here, but they're all left now. So I've taken my pack over. Now the canoe goes, and it's let's see, it's about 480 meters plus or minus for the portage. It's almost completely flat with pretty good surface. Okay, we got through that portage as clean as I probably am going to, and that was 45 minutes, which is exactly what my model suggests. It's 480 meters, so actually 55, so I'm slightly quick with it, but it was a very easy portage. There was no there was a little bit of rock on it, but for the most part it was just a fairly flat walk. So now I'm headed to my potential campsite at Horseshoe Island, which I have no idea whether I'm going to be able to get to, as there's so many people on the lake today. So I'm just gonna, that group I was with at the portage, they're heading the same way, I think. So I don't know. I think it's a slim to none chance, but hopefully I can get it. It'd be really nice to be able to. It's now 20 to 5. I had said that I wanted to be done at 5. If I get this site, I am. So that would be wonderful. So we'll just have to see how this rolls out, and go from there. My right shoulder is a little sore. It doesn't seem to get worse. It was fine. It got better actually on Ferguson Bay, and now it's a bit sore again since the portage. So I don't know. We'll see where we are tomorrow, but right now I'm powering ahead. So the camp kids took the site I was looking for, but there's one here at the end of this island. You can see it down on the camera. So I just got to see how to get out of here, but I'm hoping that this will be fine for me. So we'll just have to see. It's pretty steep on this side, but let's see what the other side looks like. Just need, also looking for something flat for my tent. So we'll see what the arithmetic is there. So that site I was coming up to there has a big private sign on it, so that didn't work. Then there's a site to the north of that island on a different piece of land that was marked, and there's nothing there. So I'm going to go through the lower inlet to the pass into Sharp Rock Inlet. There should be 5 sites there. I heard some talking, so there's obviously somebody there. And hopefully one of them is available. So that's the next stop. All right, so we've got one coming up here on the right. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. Well, it's small, but do what I want. I don't see anybody on it, so I'll have to check it out, I guess. So I've had 5 or 6 and occupied coming up on this small passage here, and apparently on the left, just maybe around the bend, there's supposed to be one here. So see how much paint we leave behind on the rocks here. And so right there. Really shallow here, so you don't even see it. That's the problem. Well, hopefully nobody else is coming this way. I've got myself something to hold to see how this works out. Please. Getting kind of tired, so it'd be nice to have a spot. Alright. So I'm here at my little site on this small passage. It's pretty tight, but I think we're going to make it work. The water access is not too bad, but if they bring the canoe up, and my right shoulder is kind of sore right now, so I have to decide tomorrow what
what the plan's going to be, whether I'm going to keep going or go back. It's never bothered me before, and I've got over 200 kilometers already this year. Had some big days, and it started bothering me about halfway through today, so it's just inflammation crap. So I'm hoping it'll go away, but I don't know. And we'll just don't want to get too far in and be wrong. So we'll have to see. So that's kind of disappointing given how otherwise fit I was, I think, this year. Anyway, here's a look at the site. And then behind me here I have a small area where I can do my food preparation. I'm just a little concerned getting the canoe. I want it well out of the way so it can't go in the water, so I have to figure that out and decide how I'm doing my technology stuff tonight. And then even if I don't bring it all the way up, I'm going to tie it off for sure, but we'll see. Doesn't seem to be a kaibo here, but I think that we can manage whatever. And here's the small area just behind that's reasonably flat where my tent is. One of my rules is that I'm going to get somewhere. First thing to do is put up the tent, put my stuff in it, because you're tired, and if you start eating and pooping out, then maybe you're going to be doing it in the dark. So there you go, that's my little site, and it's more than enough for what I need. Right now I'm filtering some water here with my Be Free gravity filter. It's about a half a liter done now, so just letting that run. That'll help for dinner. So among some other things, I've got myself some chicken noodle soup here. I make it in half the water that it's supposed to be. What I'm after primarily is the noodles. I'm not a pasta eater. I don't care for that. So this is the way I kind of take my pasta, is to do it this way. And then I focus on eating almost all the noodles. And then if there's a little bit of the water left and I don't really want it, that's fine. And it works pretty well. So it was a pretty good day. 30.7 kilometers or something by the time I finally found a campsite. But the only thing I'd subtract from today would be the pain in my shoulder, which seemed to be going away. And when I did the portage, when I finished that, it started hurting more, but I was able to manage to still paddling. But the question will be tomorrow, depending on how I feel, whether I move on or I go back. If I go on, then I've got 2.5 full days of paddling ahead of me, and have to responsibly make sure I can do that. I know I can do it, but it's as long as I have my right shoulder. I don't feel there's anything really wrong. I think it is just inflammation, so that's why I'm kind of hedging right now. Tomorrow, the rain is supposed to start around 4 o'clock at about about a millimeter. And then 2 hours of 2 millimeters, and then 1 millimeter. And that's what we've got coming our way tomorrow. I figure my trip, if I do it tomorrow, to Makamika is going to be, it's not going to be 29 like the map says right now, because we probably cut off 5 or 6 with what I didn't do, what I did tonight. So I think it's going to be more like 24, and of that, a kilometer of it is portaging. So 23 is the paddling distance. So in my mathematics, that's about 5 3/4 hours. And then the 3 portages of 800 odd meters is something in the neighborhood of about 2 hours. So I'm thinking in the neighborhood of 6.5 to 6 3/4 hours travel time. So if I want to be at Wakamika at 3 to try to be set up and beat the rain, if that is possible, then I need to be out of here by 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's kind of my mathematics right now. So see the time I get up and just how much fun it is then. If I go back from here, it's probably about 21 or 22 with no portages. So that's a 4 hour-ish, 5 hour-ish kind of run. So We'll see. I really love to do this trip. I've been looking forward to it for quite a while. So it's all a matter. And like I say, the thing that's really frustrating is that I've been doing some other big days and I had no pain at all. This has come out of nowhere. And this is the part, I guess, the joys of being 64. But anyhow, so that's good night from somewhere near the north arm of Lake Temagami. And we'll see you in the morning.
And my trip at the central hub of Lake Temagami marked item 1 on the map. I took my lunch at a small island at item 2. The campsite I used in 2007 was found at item 3. The 450-meter portage from Ferguson Bay back was at item 4, and after some searching, I found my campsite in the lower narrows of the entrance to Sharp Rock Inlet at item 5. For the day, with a pack weight of 57 pounds to start and a canoe with paddles and life vests attached at 74 pounds, I paddled 30.7 kilometers over 7 hours and 29 minutes, including all breaks. Aside from the late shoulder pain, it was a very satisfying day. Thank you very much for watching this video. Enjoyed it.